He did say that he'd be back. I just wish it was for a better movie. Terminator Genisys... Terminator 5. Terminator 5 is directed by Alan Taylor and stars Arnold Schwarzenegger once again returning as the T-800. You know, we've been having a really great year for summer movies, haven't we? You know, movies like Avengers 2, Mad Max, Jurassic World, Inside Out. Way to rain on our parade, Terminator 5. Way to go. Just like last year's X-Men Days of Future Past, this movie really tries to change a lot of things that have happened over the course of these movies. But whereas Days of Future Past fixed the mistakes that have happened in that franchise, this movie completely changes all the good things that have happened in the Terminator franchise. That's great. That's great. That's great. Now look, I'm not a huge Terminator fan. I love the first two movies. Yeah, this movie spits on those two. It basically... I think I have a copy of T2 on my shelf. You see, it basically takes all the great things that have happened from movies like this, throws it on the ground, spits on it, stomps on it, and, you know, unbuttons their fly and, does its own way with it. That's the way I can describe it, basically. This movie pretty much ruins everything that's great about those first two movies. Especially a lot of the twists and turns that this movie takes. One twist in particular that I'm not going to spoil for you, but then again, the trailers and the poster already did it for me. That twist in particular is so stupid. It completely derails the entire point of these movies to begin with. Like, it's like, just to give you perspective on how stupid it is. It's like, it's as stupid as having Richard Pryor be in a Superman movie. Or making a Star Trek movie where they discover God. Or having the chick from Clueless as Batgirl. It's like that level of stupid. Let me just quickly talk about the performances, because they really don't matter that much. Arnold Schwarzenegger is still the best thing about the franchise. Even though they gave him a crappy script, he still somehow chugged along through. Plus there are a whole lot of newcomers in this movie, like Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor. I know all you Game of Thrones fans are really excited to see the Mother of Dragons become the Mother of the Resistance, but in reality Emilia Clarke is just fine in the movie. It's kind of obvious she did this for a paycheck. And speaking of paychecks, holy shit, J.K. Simmons. Even though he's probably one of the more interesting things about this movie, it's still obvious he did this for the money. And then there's Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese. And man... Jai Courtney, Jai Courtney. Let me tell you something, folks. Jai Courtney is an interesting case, this one. This guy, he is so boring. He is such a boring actor. Everything I've seen him in, he is so mind-numbingly boring. You know, the fifth Die Hard movie, the Divergent films, an almost empty water bottle has more screen presence than Jai Courtney. What made the original Kyle Reese so interesting to me was that you could just tell that this guy went through hell fighting the machines and Skynet in the future. But Jai Courtney, he looks like he just walked off a photo shoot for Men's Health. Even Rambo would look at this guy and be like, he's not a real soldier. He never went through the hell of war. Who is this guy? He looks like a douchebag. And as a Doctor Who fan, I gotta mention that Matt Smith is in the movie, although he's not in it for very long. He's only in it for like 6 minutes. The action sequences really weren't that memorable, and that's a shame considering that these movies have had a lot of great action sequences, especially Terminator 2. Like, I saw this movie last night, and I don't remember a whole lot from the action scenes. That's not good, man. That is not good. Do keep in mind, I went to see a free screening for this movie, and yet it still felt like I wanted to demand for like my money back. So just to kind of wrap things up, if you're a huge Terminator fan and you love the first two movies, avoid this like the plague. Again, I'm not a huge Terminator fan, but even I still hated this. It's so obvious that there was no passion put into this movie at all. This movie was made just for the money, just to keep cashing in on a franchise that should have ended years ago. The performances were really wooden, even from Arnold, surprisingly, even though he was still the best thing about it. The action sequences weren't really that memorable. The effects weren't that great, especially considering that the second movie came out in 1991, and all the effects for that still look better than the ones here. And if you're not a big fan of these movies, but you just want to see a great, fun summer movie, skip this, man. Just don't bother. Don't bother. You're better off just watching that video of Arnold Schwarzenegger surprising people at Madame Tussauds.
You look real.
Because I am. Can they help you? No touching.
So, what do you think of Terminator Genisys? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you a huge fan of the first two movies? Tell me in the comments section down below. And as always, if you like what you saw here, feel free to press that like button, share this with your friends, and hey, subscribe if you want. But until next time, I'm Marc Aquino. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Who is this guy? He looks like a douchebag.
Subscribe.